What is going on, guys? It is Lay the House, or I'm here, and it's Tuesday, July 23rd. We have a loaded MLB card today. Every single team is playing. That's pretty much all we have to work with. There's no basketball. There's some, there's the basketball tournament going on, but there's not a lot of props for it that you can really find good value on for. If you want to dabble in some esports or some tennis, or even get ahead of the week with some golf, there is value on the board in those sports, and I will touch on the esports later on in the video. But for now, we're going to focus on the MLB, and let's take a look at how yesterday went. So yesterday for me, my bets, I pretty much broke even on my straight bets yesterday. I think I went like 3-4 or something around there. So lost a little bit, but almost broke even there. And then my underdog fantasy plays, I just completely went over. I mean, there's no way around it. Like if we look at my results here from yesterday, it was basically a ton of red. But there were some winners in the Discord community that did have some pretty good days. I do know of at least one of them. So we're going to head over to the Discord here, go to the big wins section. And Kayana J here had a nice win with Rowdy Tellez. Lower than 0.5 runs, and Hunter Green higher than 17.5 pitching outs. So congratulations on your win. We had a bunch of big winners over the weekend. It didn't seem like a lot of people had a ton of action yesterday with it being a pretty slow Monday. But today, we have so much baseball on, so much value, and I'll be posting plays throughout the day. And hopefully you can find some good plays from this video. If you're not in the Discord server yet, it is free to join. It's linked in the description below, and it's also in the pinned comment below as well. I have a ton of free information for you guys. It's completely free. Everything in here. There's no VIP picks. There's no paywall for anything. It's just a totally free open community. I have a large section on betting education where I have some resources for you guys. If you want to learn more about positive EV betting and ways to be a profitable sports bettor in your life moving forwards, these resources here are the best place to start. And then there's some good sections here with big wins where you can post all your big wins, whether it's sports betting or daily fantasy or whatever it might be. You can post it in there. I have a couple sections here where I post all of my plays. So RM's fantasy picks is where I post all my fantasy plays every single day. Obviously, yesterday was not a good day for me, but a couple days ago, we had some massive days, and it's just, in the long run, if you're tailing me every single play, you will end up ahead. But if you want to see all of my plays right when I make them, I tag the daily fantasy rule. As soon as I place them, I go into my Discord server, I post the link to the play and a screenshot, and I tag everybody in the daily fantasy role so they can tail me, and they can avoid any potential line movement that I might be getting ahead of. So, best place to be if you want to jump on my plays and not get hit with any line movement. And then RM Sports Betting Picks, that's where I post my regular sports betting plays. These are my 6 plays in the MLB last night. I actually went, I think, 2-4 or 3-3. I have to go back and take a look. I think I went 3-3, actually. So it was a solid day, but it was still a losing day, nonetheless. And then we have some sections here for Underdog Challenge of the Week. It's some challenges that I post for the community, where if they make a play on Underdog Fantasy and if they win with the certain parameters, they can get some free cash from me if they do hit that. So some really fun things in the community. Super excited with how it's going to go during the NFL season. But nonetheless, let's head over to Underdog Fantasy and see what they have on the board for promotions. So they actually added in some NFL promotions yesterday. Honestly, they're 47 days out. I'm not going to tie up my money until then. There's just no need for it right now. So many things can happen. So I'm probably going to wait until week 1 before I actually make any plays on these NFL ones. So we'll let them sit there for a bit. The Olympic basketball game between USA and Serbia, that is, I believe, on Sunday this week. Saturday or Sunday? Sunday, actually, here. I'm going to wait till probably Saturday to make my play for those. But if you want to add these to any of my plays that I'm sharing in this video, or anything that you see useful in this video, you're more than welcome to. It just boosts the payout, essentially. MLB, like I mentioned before, we pretty much have every single team playing tonight as a typical Tuesday. First game at 6:40 Eastern Time, so we got plenty of time to find some value. So let's head over to our amazing tools at OddsShopper.com. So OddsShopper, these are the tools that I use every single day. I use their Underdog entry builder along with the Prizepicks and a sleeper as well. It's a very affordable site to use. I believe it's only $15 a month if you want to give it a shot for your first month. And if you want 10% off your first month, sign up using code LayTheHouseRM and they'll give you 10% off. If you want to, look into OddsShopper before signing up, feel free to reach out to me in the Discord server or send me a DM or something. Or the link to OddsShopper.com is in the description below. So if you want, click the link there, browse to the website, see if there's anything useful for you. I would suggest giving it a shot simply because I can't give you every single play that it spits out because I only make these videos once a day and I only make my plays a couple times per day. So I'm not jumping on every single play that they're posting, but you can if you are actively looking at it pretty much all day. So first, let's take a look at the value on the board for Underdog right now, and it looks like it just crashed on me. So we'll head over to Sleeper. So Sleeper first, the top values on the board are Beto over 2.5 strikeouts. That's a solid play for Oakland right now. I would be shocked if this line stays there. They'll probably move it pretty quickly. So if you want to jump on Osvaldo Beto higher than 2.5 strikeouts, really good play for you on Sleeper to combine. Some other plays here: Albert Suarez under 4.5 hits allowed. Juan Soto under 0.5 hits. I know he hit the 2 home runs yesterday, and this doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go over. It's just telling you that there is value on the board on Sleeper for this specific prop as compared to all the other major sports books. So if you want to get some really good value on this one, obviously it only has a 38% chance of expected win percentage, but there is value in the numbers. So if you want to take the Soto play, it will end up being a very good payout. So if I was making a play on Sleeper, I'd go with Beto, I'd go with Suarez, and I would go with Soto. 8.5x entry payout on a 4% EV. That's a pretty solid number for you guys. So that is definitely a play that I would suggest making over on Sleeper. We'll remove these plays and let's generate what their essentially their optimal would be. So if you want to take a long shot here, you could do this 5-pick play, 34x on the entry payout. I love doing at least 2 or 3 long shots a day. For example, and how much to risk on a long shot compared to like a normal play. On a normal play, I'm risking somewhere between $25 to $40, and then on every single long shot, I'm usually risking like $5 to $10, simply because you're not going to win these very often. See, this has a 1% expected win percentage of 3%. Like, you're going to win this 3 out of every 100 times, but when you do win those 3 times, they will be massive boosts for you. 34x payouts. So the 5 picks on the play here that I'm probably going to play on this long shot is the Beto prop, the Suarez prop that I mentioned before, Jordan Hicks under 4.5 total strikeouts, Aaron Judge and Soto under 0.5 total hits. I'd probably remove the Judge and replace it with something else on a different team, maybe the Landon Knack under 4.5 strikeouts. It's going to dock the payout a bit, but it's still pretty good value as long as you're in the positive expected EV value column. You are looking at a very good play over on Sleeper. Let's go take a look at Underdog, see if they've refreshed it yet. This happens occasionally throughout the day where like their API just doesn't pull, so you might not be able to look at the data for Underdog right here on OddsShopper right now. It's probably going to be fixed in like 5 to 10 minutes, but for the purpose of recording this video, I can't really help too much with this in this scenario. So we're going to head over to Prizepicks, and then we'll head over to Daily Grind Fantasy, and we'll take a look at Underdog for today. So top couple plays on Prizepicks for today. We have some pretty good values. Those are for a flex play. For a power play, also is the same value. So if I'm making a play on Prizepicks, the value is not that great over there if you live in the state of Florida. If you don't live in the state of Florida, you should be doing the 5-pick flex plays as often as you can. It is Taco Tuesday on Prizepicks, so there are going to be discounts throughout the day. They will not show up in the tools. They never show up in any of the optimizers, but I would suggest taking advantage of every single Taco Tuesday prop that they put out there. There's always a ton of value in it. I know it's not going to win every single time, but there is good value in the number. And then when you combine it with some of these plays, like the Trey Turner under on the bases, the Simeon Woods Richardson under on the strikeouts, the Gilbert under strikeouts, Tyone under on hits allowed, those are the top 4 plays on Prizepicks that you should basically be combining all of the Taco Tuesdays with. Another strategy that I found to be very profitable on the Taco Tuesdays is, we'll head over to Prizepicks. They don't actually have a Taco Tuesday out just yet, but I'll just use it as an example. So if we go over to the pitcher strikeouts here, so say they discount Paul Skeens strikeouts from 7.5 down to like say 4.5, right? So I'm going to take that Paul Skeens over 4.5 strikeouts on the Taco Tuesday prop. I'm going to combine it with, let's say, Trey Turner under 1.5 total bases. We'll just do the 1-to-1, the 2-to-1 play, basically. You got to win both picks in order to win. So you have Paul Skeens over 4.5 strikeouts and Trey Turner under 1.5 bases. But Paul Skeens' line, his regular line, is 7.5 total strikeouts, right? So then I would make a second play risking the same exact amount of Paul Skeens under 7.5 strikeouts, along with the same Trey Turner prop. This way, if I win the Trey Turner prop, I have an opportunity to middle. So basically, I'll win one of those 2 plays no matter what. I might lose one of the other plays, or it might end up somewhere in between, and I will win both, and it's basically like a jackpot. So, really good strategy to use on the Taco Tuesday plays if you want to try to middle some plays and go for big home runs. Obviously, this is contingent on you hitting the one play that is not a discount, but if you're making good, smart decisions and using tools like OddsJam and Daily Grind Fantasy as well, yeah, you'll win more than you lose in the long run. Let me just refresh Underdog Fantasy one last time on OddsJam, see if it comes through or not right now. And it looks like it is. See, it's pretty quick. So occasionally it's going to go down on you just because it's refreshing. But we'll run down Underdog Fantasy right now. So same props as Prizepicks, actually. So Underdog Fantasy and Prizepicks are pretty much in line with some of their plays today with Turner, Woods Richardson, and Tyone. That's a solid 3-pick entry over on Underdog. So if you go with the 3 of them, it's a 6-out payout. It's basically an even positive EV. 16% expected win rate, so it's not like an amazing play by any means, but there is some other values, and you can always combine some of these plays on OddsJam with some of the other tools like Daily Grind Fantasy or OddsJam as well. So, like what I like to do here is I'll take this Trey Turner under 1.5 total bases. So I'm gonna head over to Underdog. We'll just add the play. So we'll Turner under 1.5 total bases. I'd head over to Daily Grind Fantasy, which is another fantasy optimizer tool, another paid subscription, but I use as many tools as are available to me simply because they add to my bottom numbers. I basically make a lot more money by using these tools, and it saves me so much time with having to research these in a manual aspect. So I'm going to edit this to 2 minimum data points, see what comes up here. Logan Gilbert under 38.5, pitching fantasy score is a solid play. Fantasy score is a little bit risky, but there is some good values that you can be fine with that. So I'm going to add the Gilbert. We'll go under on the fantasy points. And then we'll head back over to Daily Grind Fantasy and see what else we got here. Like, you can go with the Rafaela over 2 hits, runs, RBIs. You can go with Contreras over on the fantasy score. He's been pretty hot lately, and he's against the Cubs. You can go with the Terang under on the 2 hits, under RBIs. If I was making the play here, I'd probably go with the Contreras over on the fantasy score. Just sticking with the top on the board. So we'll go Contreras, William Contreras over 7 fantasy score, and you see 6x payout, pretty solid value on that one. Honestly, I'm just gonna make the play right now for you guys to prove that I'm making the play that I share with you guys. I will copy this link. I head over to Discord. I always go into my fantasy pick section. I grab a screenshot. I tag the daily fantasy roll, and that's where everybody with the daily fantasy roll can see the play right when I make it. So let's head over to Daily Grind more, see what else is over there, because I did want to touch on the esports with you guys, because there are a lot of esports plays out there in these tools. So let me refresh this really quick. You see the top of the board, there's always a ton of esports plays. The reason for this, there's always different numbers between these different sports books. So like Ben 1337 on Counter-Strike tonight, his total on Underdog Fantasy is over 11.5 kills. But on, it looks like, which one is this? This is one other site, Hot Streak. I think it's Hot Streak. So on Hot Streak, his number is 12.5. So you can see where the line difference is. So that's why you would bet the over on Underdog Fantasy. You'd probably bet the under on Hot Streak, and you'd find your way somewhere in the middle. So there's always some really good esports plays out there to make plays on. Typically, they'll be in line with specific teams. So you see all these players on Party Astronauts tonight are expected to go over. This means the lines on Underdog Fantasy are expecting a pretty close match with their opponent and potential overtime. Overtime in Counter-Strike is huge. Whenever there's overtime, pretty much every single player goes over on both sides. So there's some really good value on some esports every single day. I try to combine maybe 1 or 2 esports plays with some MLB plays to try to get some good value in there, simply because MLB is a tough sport with the value. But if you want to, give a Daily Grind Fantasy a shot, I do have a 25% off code. That's also in the description below. If you want to try out any of these optimizers, tinker around. Find the one that works best for you. I prefer to use the OddsJam one first, and then I go to Daily Grind Fantasy if I need some backup or if I need a second one. You don't need to have both, but it's always nice to have both. One other thing I want to touch on OddsJam here are their market-based EV bets. These are showing the regular best bets on the board for today. For Hard Rock, Fliff, DraftKings, FanDuel, all the major sports books. I live in the state of Florida, so I can only bet on Hard Rock and Fliff. So the best values on the board right now are actually just on Fliff for today in these 4 plays. So and actually all from the Cubs game. They're all plays in this Cubs game tonight. So we can go with Suzuki, Morel, and Yelich, all under on the bases. They all have some really good value on flip as compared to all the other major sports books. And then William Contreras, high under on the RBIs as well. So some really good value on flip. If you want to see the results of all of their plays that they post for the major sports books, go to the market-based EV results tab, sort by the sport, sort by the sports book, get results, and this shows you all of the results for every single play that their tool has posted this year for that sports book. So you see on Flip, they actually have a 4% ROI on total bases and a 20% ROI on RBIs. So some pretty good value on the plays posted on the board on Flip. If you are my Discord server and if you want to see the best bet on the board, go into the specific sports tab, do /best bet, click enter. A little prompt is going to come up to select the league where you want to pick your best bet. So I would choose MLB in this case. And the best bet on the board is the William Contreras under 1.5 total RBIs on BetMGM. But we also saw that same play as on Flip. So there's a good value on Flip with that William Contreras under 1.5 RBIs. Actually, that was Wilson Contreras on Flip, wasn't it? So I guess both Contreras on the RBIs with the under are some pretty good plays. No, it was William. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I guess the picture's a little off here. But anyways, William Contreras under 0.5 total RBIs is a solid play for you guys. If you have any questions or if you want to just talk about the plays itself, feel free to chat a bunch yourself in the Discord server. Saw here saying fuck the Red Sox because they hit a 3-run home run to ruin our under 2.5 team total with 2 outs in the 5th inning last night. So that was kind of a bummer. But hey, it happens. But if you want to see all of my plays and if you want to join a great community, join Discord server. Free to join, link in the bio in the description below and in the pinned comment. Comment your best bets for today. Hopefully we could have another profitable day. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of this video if you made it this long. Hopefully you guys are learning something from these videos. Best of luck on your plays today and thanks for watching.